So, what has given me meaning in life? First off, love has given me meaning. And the love that I felt from my parents, from my ancestors, from my brother and sister, from my friends, from my companions and fellow workers, my colleagues, my students, my teachers. It's this great reservoir of love, this stream of human energy that's flowed into me since I was born. And who am I other than that? Who am I other than that stream of life? So I am that love, and I express that love. And I think that sometimes love can be joyful, sometimes love can be harsh. I've never suffered so much as when I divorced or when I lost those that I deeply love. So that aspect of joy and suffering, joy and sorrow are combined in most things in life that are truly important to us. And that's true in the other thing that has had great meaning for me throughout my life, which is my work. And my work has always involved some aspect of social justice. From the beginning of my life as an adult, when I decided to leave college and burn my draft card and work full-time against the Vietnam War. And throughout my life as a community organizer or a labor organizer or an occupational health specialist, that idea that my work should serve others and serve the cause of justice has been an important guiding principle that has given meaning to my whole adult life. And that's a great blessing. But at the same time, it wasn't always clear what the next step was. And there have been times in my life where I really haven't known what to do next, that I've been lost. And the path seemed to peter out, and I had to stop. And it was in those times that I became closest to God and closest to the deeper wisdom within me. And in those times of suffering, I think I also began to understand more of who my true self was and be able to give expression to that. So the other thing that has given me meaning in life is that spiritual journey. So that along with my relationships and with my work has come out of suffering an understanding of the importance of being in the present moment and really appreciating and savoring life from day to day. Recently, this year, my wife died, Marianne Teresa Nobile. She was a great love. For the last 7 years, she had had a stroke in 2007, and I had been taking care of her. And we had grown very close together. So her death was a kind of shock and has created an emptiness inside of me that I've been looking into that emptiness and holding that grief over the last year, all during this time of autumn leaves. I've been thinking about this thing, about what is death? And the question of what is death for me has been, well, where did Marianne go? Where is she? And my answer to that question really is still forming, but I feel that Marianne hasn't really disappeared. Her body may not be there anymore, but she's still here. She's still here in the universe. She's still here in the flowers and in the birds and in the trees. She's here in all of us. All of us have her atoms in us now. And her atoms have gone throughout the entire biosphere and are leaking out into the cosmos. And more than that, she's inside of me. Not just as a memory, but as a reality, as a way of seeing, as a way of thinking, as a way of feeling. I'm changed by being with her. I have become a different person. I am her continuation. I am partly her now. And that's true with the other people that have died. I am partly them. So those that die, they don't really die. They're not extinguished. They continue. They continue with us and with everyone that has loved them. And even beyond that. It's like their death is like a ripple on the still pond, and that ripple goes on and on and on, far beyond just the people that you might meet, but the things that you have done. And I think about that in terms of my own death. The students that I've had, my actions in the world, all of those have had influences far beyond what I really understand. And I also think through this death that I've come in touch with another dimension, which is the great mystery. The great mystery of what happens to us at the end. I can't say that those are the only things that happen. I think there's another form of a continuation as well. And I think we come from God and we return to God. And we don't really die. We are reborn in many ways. So death is really not something to be afraid of. I don't think that we have to worry about it. I think what's going to happen on the other side is going to be just fine. So what would I suggest to my 21-year-old self? Well, my 21-year-old self was kind of tearing up his life and doing all these like really stupid things that my father was furious about, you know? And what would I tell him? I would say, go to it. Do it. You know? Forget about college. I was right to do that. It set me on a path that that path has gone in a lot of different directions, but it's been a path I feel proud of and given me a lot of, I feel a great deal of gratitude for having found that path. The other thing is that you need to take care of yourself. You need to love yourself. You need to cherish yourself. You need to find your true self and thereby find your work, find your path. And we all have our own path. It's not the path of another person. No one else can tell us what our path is. You know, our path is something that we have to find. And our path isn't doing someone else's work. You know, even though we may work for others, you know, that has to come out of our true self. And then finally, I think it's important to have fun. You know, to do something that's just to do it because you want to do it, because you just love it and you can't stand not doing it. And like for me, that's like hanging out with my dogs and messing around on my boat. I mean, there's no redeeming social value in those things, but I love doing it and it helps me keep going.